Hello, my name is Tracy. Welcome to Expectations Matter, My Life, My Choice, My Plan, person-centered training developed by people with disabilities and their family members for people with disabilities and their family members by Shared Support Maryland, Inc., funded by the Maryland Developmental Disabilities Council. Welcome to the Applied Self-Direction 2023 Self-Direction Conference virtual series. Thank you.
What are people with disabilities faced with? Expectation Matters presentation allows attendees to imagine a world where disabled people have authorities over their own life, are able to set their own goals, achieve them, and are fully supported by teams of their own choosing. People with disabilities face significant barriers economically and socially, including the generalized assumption that they are not equipped to hold control over their own lives in any aspect. This presentation on person-centered planning shares actions that has served to educate others on what a process of liberation for disabled people looks like and the steps needed to achieve it.
There was a proposal that the Maryland Developmental Disabilities put out, and we want to tell you why we wanted to act on that. They proposed a project to help people learn about person-centered planning, what it is, what to expect, how to be in charge of, and how to get what they want from the process. Our company, Shared Support Maryland, loved it, and it was an exact match to what we do every day. System-wide, professionals have had access to endless training and development on person-centered planning, and it is time that people themselves had that same access, if not more. Shared Support Maryland uses many person-centered planning tools, and we were excited to be able to show the variety. Everyone we asked to partner with us said yes. Why was it important? It was important for us in the proposal that we illustrated that people and families got paid fairly for everything they did and led the projects and its activities. It was important that people with disabilities and family members had an exclusive forum, that everyone had access and people were not vetted out or excluded from getting the training and mentoring that it provided. The geography of trainers across the state was important. Trainees and advisory group come from all areas of our state. Other demographics that were important was socioeconomic background, gender identity, range of support people received, wanted, and more. The council's Expectations Matter campaign that they run was also important and a perfect match. We got our award. We started in September 2019. It was for $150,000 over 2 years, which turned into 2.5. We had a $37,500 in-kind match, which everyone contributed to. We went on to form a small and mighty organization that we now call Expectations Matter. And then, of course, COVID hit, and everything we did was turned into a virtual project. We had 4 webinars scheduled, and they became 75 and no in person. We gathered people, the partners kicked it off. We formed an advisory group. We recruited the remainder of our contractors meeting demographic expectations on purpose, and we began to recruit trainers. The advisory group designed the modules. Plain language and accessibility went into play, reviewed and approved by the council and our Developmental Disabilities Administration. And then, of course, we immediately changed the whole process. The trainers were worried, but they exceeded all of their own expectations.
The section of Expectation Matters, My Life, My Choice, My Plan. The history, preparing, planning sessions, accountability. Basic history of person-centered planning. Service, often based on disability, not people. Plans written by people who may not have known the person. Families were not included. People did not have rights or choices. All over the world, that is changing. The idea of viewing this disability as a defective burden has rooted itself in the mind of society. The stigma amongst people with disabilities and the us versus them mentality still heavily remains. The idea of person-centered directly combats against the dangerous views of disability segregation. Cody Drinkwater, December 2019. History of person-centered planning has its roots in normalization and independent living movements, grounded in a social model of disability, strength-based approach. Ideas dated back to 1959. Early examples of community integrations and the early ideas of living your best life. Person-centered planning, ongoing process. All people, right to live, love, work, play, and pursue their dreams. Right to figure out, decide on, and pursue what is important. What is important might be different for everyone. In addition to the person and a family, others may play an important role. Others may help you look at a new opportunity and ideas. Person-centered planning, directed by you, develops a plan for now and the future about what's important. Can be changed, part of your life you want, shows that you own it. Others may offer to help and should do what they offer to do. You have the power. You are involved and in charge. Families is involved and may be in charge. You may choose to have others involved and not in charge. You control timing. You choose how long and how often you meet in your planning process. You have the right to replan it if things don't work how you want. Support and self-advocacy. You can lead your plan. You can have help. Someone else can lead. You can have family advocates. You can have training to help you advocate. You have the right not to have negative consequences affected by speaking up. You may choose how long and how often you meet. Human dignity and rights. Nothing about us without us. People can assist you if you want them to, but should not make decisions. Everyone has the capacity to make decisions and can be supported to do so. Supported decision-making, communication basics. Every single person communicates. Define terms and roles often used in person-centered planning. Family roles. Other committed contributions. How are people included in your planning and the control you have over that? Privacy, confidentiality.
Hello, my name is Samantha Davis, and I will be going over this section. And this is pre-planning before the meeting, exploration, and discovery. Choosing your team. You choose who is on your team. So you have to decide who knows you best. Well, you have to pick who you know is best, and then advocate with you. And then paid support can be invited or uninvited to your team. Next slide, please. There are different team members. Different kinds of people can help you access different resources. You may invite different people at different times to help you do the things you want. There are realtors, teachers, co-workers, developers, anchor, and coach, and whoever else. And there's also resource coordinator, support planner, realtor, job developer or job coach, independent living specialist, support broker, and program managers. And yeah, you guys can also invite whoever else, like family or friends that know you best. Now, the person-centered way, because people are people, not robots. Beep, boop, bop. Everyone is different. Tools and other resources. See all documents before your meeting and then ask questions. Tools can be explained to you. Review your plan when it's finished, and it's okay if things need to change. Roles at the meeting. Giving roles to people in your team helps them support you better. It's like having their own superpower, you know, when they're part of a Justice League. Next slide, please. Access to the planning process. You may need time. Disability or something else may affect people differently. You and your team can make sure the planning process will be easy to understand. Next slide, please. Having an agenda and preparation checklist. Why do we need to have this stuff? So that way you know what you're going to cover, so you can keep track of where you are, so you don't miss out on anything. Next slide, please. Think about these important things. Are people asking what you want? Are people actually listening to you? Are you making the final decisions? Make sure you stay in check with all of that. Next slide, please. Ways to prepare your meeting to be comfortable for you. Plan in places where you are most comfortable to be yourself. Choose an icebreaker. Creating a slideshow / collage to share. Take a break. And do you want background sounds? So it's just like picking a place for me that's comfortable for you. For example, my comfortable place is my home or the library. This concludes this section. And then on this section, I'm going to pass this off to Mel and Babette. Take it away.
Thanks, Sam. Let's talk now about the Expectations Matter, My Life, My Choice, My Plan, the annual planning meeting and process. So what are the elements of a planning session? The purpose of a planning session is to talk about your strengths and talents and to decide how you want to live your life. Basically, we want to talk about how you live, love, work, and play. We want to talk about who is always in charge. So Mel, who's in charge of your plan? Melanie, that's right. We want to talk about ways to keep your meeting on track, whether you're using a parking space, using your agenda, a talking stick, or giving group work to people. We want to talk about facilitation. Are you going to be running your own meeting, or do you want to have someone help you? Do you want to ask a friend or a family member to sit in to make sure you stay with your agenda and to keep you on track? And we want to talk about developing an action plan. Action plans can be used in multiple scenarios. You can use them for basically anything that you want to plan. Your first step is to describe your action step and what steps are needed. You need to see if you need other resources. Do you need other people to help? You can plan out that support. Are there things that you need that you don't have? How will the team check in to see what you need? How are you going to keep them accountable? What are the timelines? You need to keep that in mind, because sometimes one thing needs to happen before a second thing can be started. And how will you know that your goal has been accomplished? You always want to make sure you've met that end goal. So in your planning, there are several tools that can be used. This is the integrated STAR, and it's one of the life course planning tools. It has 5 points to the STAR, including technology, community-based, eligibility-specific, personal strengths and assets, and relationship-based. So we're going to look at Mel's individual STAR. So when we're doing this and planning out in a planning session, and we want to look at the STAR as one of the tools, we always want to look first at the point of personal strengths and assets. And Mel has multiple personal strengths. She is very good at making her own choices and decisions. She communicates verbally with some signing, and she does have a delay. So we have to be cognizant of that and give her the opportunity to put her thoughts together and get them out verbally. Sometimes that means we need to wait a little bit. Mel has very good social skills, good manners. She likes to practice her everyday living skills. She has a great positive attitude. She loves trying new things. And I'm worried about the day that she goes skydiving, but that happens. She loves interacting with people, has a very good memory, and loves learning new things. And she really likes to cook. So those are her personal strengths and assets. In Mel's life, the thing that's next important to her would be her relationships. And we have a very close-knit family. She loves spending time with all of those in her family, and she loves to talk about them. So Mel, who do you like to spend time with? With Briar. Briar is her nephew. She likes to go on road trips, she's telling us. Who do you like to go bowling with? Susie, that's right. So relationships are very important in anyone's life, and they're very important also when you're working on your person-centered plan. After that, we jump over to, we're going to skip the eligibility specific and make that be last, because that shouldn't be the most important part of someone's life. So community-based, and with Mel, she's very active in the community. She's an Expectations Matter co-trainer. She likes to go shopping and does personal shopping for people. She's great at volunteering and collects pop tabs to deliver to the Ronald McDonald House. She likes to spend time in the community at the bowling alley, the library, swimming at the park. So she's very active. So let's bounce to technology. And some people don't think technology is important in a person's life, but we use technology all of the time. And sometimes we just have to modify it a little bit to make someone's life better. And in Mel's case, she uses a lot of basic technology, such as an iPad and pictures on her phone. Just a minute. iPad, apps, a DVD. She still does have a DVD and a VCR player and a karaoke machine with a portable music speaker system and microphone. We even have things as simple as the gardening hose attachment that makes it easier for her to water her garden. So that's still an important part of the plan, even though it's something very small as making a minor adaptation like that. Then the last point of the STAR we go to in the lower right is, what is Mel eligible for because she is specifically eligible for it? So she has her community coordinator of community services, her personal care providers. She has relationships with the pharmacy, her OT, her PT, the nurse practitioner, and other people in her community. So this is just one tool that can be used as you're getting ready and as you're activating your plan that helps you look at the different areas of your life and what's important in them. Another tool is the trajectory. And this is very useful in talking about what someone really wants in their life and what someone does not want in their life. And you always want that arrow to be moving towards what you want, because every dip down into what you don't want takes you away from a good life. So for Mel, it's very important that she has time with her family, time outdoors. She really likes kind, compassionate staff. She wants to be in good health and have opportunities to work, volunteer, and spend time in the community. And she really needs time to process questions. So those might seem very simple, but they're very important for Mel's quality of life. What does she not want is no time with her family, a strict routine. She doesn't want to wake up early, be in poor health, be rushed, or be bored. So let's give Mel an opportunity to talk about some of her favorite things in life. Mel, can you see here? Mel has a visual impairment, so we like to put things up close for her. So when she's working on her plan, she uses a lot of pictures. So can you tell us about what you're doing here? You're bowling. That's right. And you like to bowl. How about the next picture? A road trip? That's right. And your last one's your favorite. You're hanging out with your nephew, and what are you doing there? What did you ride? The train? That's right. So how to make sure your plan works for you and what makes a good action plan? You want to make sure that you asked for a copy of your plan. You want to see it to be able to review it. You want someone to help you review it. You want to ask questions if you feel something needs clarified. And when you do an action plan, you want to make sure that you have given everyone what jobs you want them to do. You want to have a clearly defined goal. You want to make sure the goal is timely and reachable. And you want to make sure that you know what needs to happen to get you to that end result. So let's go into the post planning and what's going to happen after the meeting. And this is Tracy now that's going to tell you about this.
Thank you, Mel and Babette. We're going to talk about now post planning, what happens after the meeting. The training reminds people that they are in charge of things over and over again. Review your plan. Does it say what you want it to say? Is this something you don't want in your plan? What can you do if something is in your plan you don't want? Stay in charge of your plan. Timelines. You decide when each task needs to be completed. Make sure your timeline is reasonable. Don't give, it is important that you give time to people to do their best, and make sure that people have time to do what you ask, and make sure the task that you've given them is something reasonable that they're able to accomplish for you. Communication. Questions. Everyone should share. Should communicate how you prefer. So if you don't do emails, everybody shouldn't be communicating through email. They should communicate the way that works best for you. You should be included in all the communications because you are in charge. Timelines and changes in your plan. The plan should always reflect you. Day-to-day life changes. A plan can change at any time. Like when COVID hit, just about everybody I know had to make changes in their plan. How do you change your plan? Talk to your team. Who can help you change your plan is when your plan is related to the support you need. Accountability and staying on track. Tools can be used to help you stay on track. Notes are good. You don't have to do this alone. Follow up with strategies, calendars, and set reminders on calendars. Schedule check-ins ahead of time. Problems with a team member. If someone is not communicating or not getting the task done, you or your advocate should talk to them. If you're nervous or unsure about how to talk to a team member, you can role play it. You can send an email or a letter, call on the phone, or ask a friend for assistance. If a professional on your team is the obstacle, you can contact their supervisor to address the problem. Someone can help you. If talking to them doesn't help, you can choose to remove them. If you need assistance removing them from you can get assistance from one of your team members or a friend. Problems getting the plan to work. One of the great things about this training is that it reminds us that a plan is not something to just stick in a drawer and forget. And if it's not working, say, oh, well. Don't give up. Maybe it will take some more brainstorming, new ways to make your plan work for you. Who can help you with this? Expectation matters, impacts a lot of people. The project is worked and led by people with disabilities and family members and their family members. 45 plus people who made up Expectation Matters. 17 advisory group members developed the training and training guide, plus other who conducted supported decision-making, planning and leadership and mentoring and navigation. 8 master trainers who train the trainers, and interviewed trainers and approved trainers. 7 mentors, 79 training sessions, and we trained 180 people with disabilities and 323 family members and 446 others. Even more people were behind the scenes. Support and administrative support, 3 administrator roles to assist in all the activities, and there was a lot of them, and helping coordinate on the project, get invoices in and paid. 3 planned language and accessibility experts, communications and outreach coordinators, 5 groups assisting in Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, and master trainers, evaluation experts, 3 shared support Maryland employees provided support to the project in all these areas. Spanish cohort who trained and recorded the 2-hour module for the website.
Special exclusion sessions, advocacy groups, partners and policy making. Virginia, Kentucky, West Virginia, providers, provider membership organizations, community of practice for families, county public schools, Puerto Rico delegation hosted by our Developmental Disability Administration, Nationally Association of Council on Developmental Disabilities, NACDD, and American Network of Community Options and Resources, ANCOR, Anchor.
What were the extras? People who attended the training were not the only ones impacted by this. The people with disabilities and family members, some of them had their first job. For Melanie, this was her first job. Originally, the plan was that she would be passing out papers and signing people in when we originally were going to be in person. When this moved to virtual, we looked at different ways that she could then help, and it ended up that she became an actual trainer. So she gets to work on her time, where she wants, including at home in her office where her cat can join her. So it's been very beneficial for not only the people who attended the trainings, but the people who were presenting the trainings. The feedback from trainers and the advisor group was always great. The feedback from attendees was also good. People who came as attendees then wanted to be trained as presenters, and many people were added as presenters just because they did attend the training. The blogs, Melanie has a blog post about how she lives a red carpet life and as a rock star. The virtual sessions turned out great. The people we presented to was tremendous. And we know we really didn't reach everyone. More people need to see this. So the final report was amazing.
In our sustainability, which is really important for Developmental Disabilities Council's projects and all projects that are funded, the Expectations Matter has a familiar name and presence in Maryland and soon to be West Virginia. More on that later. We have a dedicated website, social media, and a logo. We have ads in several languages, a one-pager, the blog, planning guide, modules, sample plans, also in different languages and in accessible formats. The trainings themselves are able to be broken up. You saw 4 short sections of what is an hour and a 2-hour module that can be adapted in ways that everyone can access. We have a live training calendar, mentoring requests, and then we have a secret trainers material section that if you are trained by Expectations Matter, you get to access. Ongoing communication and outreach to thousands of people constantly. What we hope for the future is more sustainability. A lot of people, everybody wants a role in the future work. We ask the same 34 trainers, what do we want to do? Here's a session that's coming up, and so many people respond. We applied and won another grant through the West Virginia Developmental Disabilities Council for Expectations Matter. So we will replicate and personalize to West Virginia the same project. We are just beginning that, and we could not be more excited. Anchor, that national session, was actually the first confirmed paid gig outside of the grant from Maryland. We have a school systems proposal in to train teachers and others to be trainers and to help kids in classrooms do their own planning and also train other students and peer sessions. Our future funding offerings are open to everyone, everywhere. Expectations Matter master trainers trained the first cohort in July and just cleared the first group of trainers this week. That was a group of people from a provider agency who are also including people with disabilities whom they serve in their cohort, which is essential to the work. Peer mentoring, it is an approved waiver service in Maryland and many other states and provinces and around the world. The NACDD conference proposal was done in July. We had our first sale on a person-centered planning guide. back in July. We offered a calendar now of 1 and 2 hour modules that's ongoing. And we are hoping for projects of national significance. Being able to present at this conference is one of those things. We could do this forever. Thank you so much. We'll go around. Thank you. My name is Gail. Thank you for joining us.
My name is Babette. We appreciate your time.
My name is Nikita, and I appreciate you tuning in to us.
Hello, my name is Samantha, and I hope you enjoyed this.
Hello, my name is Tracy Wright. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Thank you, Applied Self-Direction. With any questions or anything else, here is our contact information. All right. Thanks, everyone.